Sonic Lab
TV.
This is the sound of the Korg Monotribe. It's kind of like a Groovebox stroke 303 acid machine that I reviewed last year. Really enjoyed it, apart from the fact that it had this really infuriating touch strip keyboard that I can't play any meaningful notes in. I mean, it makes it almost impossible to use as far as I was concerned. But that could be about to change, because what we're reviewing today is a retrofit kit from Amazing Machines called the MIDITRIBE IO. And this adds MIDI in and out capabilities to your Monotribe, enabling you to integrate it more with your kind of traditional MIDI rig and DAW and all of those things. Now, that's quite a game changer, surely. It's a retrofit kit. You have to open up the box and put this thing in. It's a little circuit board and a bunch of wires. They say it's very easy to do. It will void your warranty, however. Let's take a look and see if the claims are true. One Monotribe, one Amazing Machines MIDITRIBE IO, a couple of screwdrivers, something to put the screws in, and of course a cup of tea. So first thing we need to do is download the manual from amazingmachines.com.br and also read the back. This is the important bit. Please note that any modifications to your Monotribe will immediately void its warranty. So really just a question of screwdrivers. Just need a Phillips, get the 4 mounting screws out, take the batteries out of the case as well. Then there's a little connector that connects the top and the bottom case together. Disconnect that. And that's just a question of unscrewing these 2 screws here on the circuit board. These are a little bit hard to undo, these circuit board screws. Then we put in the Amazing Machines board on the top, sits on there. It's kind of insulated from the rest of the circuitry. It's all sat in there nicely on top of the circuit board. Plug the long cable into the serial connector on the side. Tidy the cable away. I mean, I suppose you could mount these on, if you're feeling brave, you could mount them on the actual, cut holes in your Monotribe, but this is the way to install it without actually affecting the casing anyway. Black and white for MIDI in, green and red for MIDI out. By the way, the MIDI sockets on these are actually really high quality. They say they're the best you can get. You can't quite get the battery case back on once you've got these wires sticking out, but there you go. About 12 minutes. All still working. So I've got it all installed. What does it mean? Well, for starters, it means I can play the thing via the keyboard, which is a massive improvement in my opinion, via MIDI. I've also got velocity sensitivity, as long as I've got my Monotribe updated to the latest OS 2.0. Simple matter of downloading an audio file and sending it in via the sync in instructions are all included in the download. And I've also got access to the 3 drum sounds, although that's it. It's just a straight trigger. There's no synthesis and no other possibilities. So that's for starters. Just incidentally, I've got this set up on a split keyboard. Channel 10 is what the drums respond to. Channel 1 is what the synth responds to. So there's several other parameters that I've got access to. First of all, the mod wheel affects the LFO depth. I've got another fader that I can map, another controller I can map to the speed. I can also affect the shape from saw, triangle, square, and there's a random wave been added in the OS update as well, so one extra bonus waveform there if you upgrade. Controller 7 affects the overall VCA, so I get a volume of the synth part 2. Other parameters include, I've got the VCA shape, so I've got the 3 different VCA shapes. I've also got the target of the LFO, so whether it's VCF and VCO, or just the VCO, or just the VCF, and various different modes of the LFO. That's about it. Unfortunately, you don't get access to the VCF frequency and resonance. They stay on the Monotribe. This is not really a limitation of the Amazing Machines. It's more to do with the fact that they're just not mapped in the Monotribe OS, so not much we can do about that. There are also some sync options. We'll take a look at those now. So I'm in Ableton Live, got an audio clip running which I recorded from the Monotribe earlier. You can see that when I start and stop, the sequence starts playing in Monotribe. Now, I'll just add some extra hi-hats. That double speed hi-hat's coming from the Monotribe at the moment. Now, if I bring up the synth part, that's also playing from the internal sequencer of the Monotribe. So if I switch it off, it's gone. Switch it back on, it's there. And I'm modulating that with some MIDI data for speed and depth of the LFO. That all seems to work nicely. Now, if I go up here and I speed the tempo up, it seems to lock pretty nicely. So now I'm going to take the sync from the Monotribe, enabling that from the MIDI input of the Axiom, go into external sync mode. Now press play on the Monotribe. That's playing my loop. Now if I bring up, got my double speed hi-hats. Bass line, I can change the tempo here. Not quite as tight, but still pretty good, so it syncs up nicely. So it's also possible to access all of the stuff that you put into the MIDITRIBE via the output. So the MIDI out also transmits note via the touch strip keyboard, should you want to use it as a controller, I can't think why. All of the other mappable controls output the data. So if you want to do a front panel kind of jam on this thing, you can record it all into your DAW and play it back later. So, I mean, I suppose that's a kind of added bonus, if you like. But for me, where it really wins is the fact that we've got MIDI playable instrument again. You know, it means that I can play meaningful note data into this because it's a great sounding little synth, and now I can use it as an instrument again. It sort of felt a little bit like a novelty, a toy, a kind of, yeah, it's kind of fun for a couple of weeks, but now it's back into the realm of I might reach for it a bit more often, because it does sound actually pretty good, the Monotribe. It's about $64. You buy it direct from amazingmachines.com.br. They're in Brazil. They're looking for international distributorship. They're setting that up now, so you'd probably be able to buy it cheaper in your territory. I think actually it's a really useful kit. What I like is the fact that Korg created this instrument and sort of opened it up by labeling the insides and putting these patch points in to encourage people to modify it and kind of get hands-on. And Amazing Machines have done this and provided a kit that actually makes the thing better and more usable, and that's great. So on the whole, I know some people have said perhaps it's a bit expensive, but I don't think so. I think what it actually adds to the Monotribe is well worth paying for.